Okay, so now that you've got your dependent variable calculated and your independent variables structured and oriented, and you're pretty much ready to do a couple of simple things, and the first of which is a descriptive statistics table. That'll give you an indication of whether your variables are calculated correctly or if you have any issues. The other is running a quick correlation table. Both of these are really simple processes. And so we're just going to run them. We'll get the output, and you'll use that output to complete the tables that I provided you in the instructions. And so let's just quickly do one. So this is the last version of the database that I was working with. If we go out to the right half here, we've got our dependent variable, our independent variable for party ID, and our two nominate scores, one of which I inverted and the other one which was fine the way it was. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to Analyze, Reports, Descriptive Statistics, and I'm going to hit Descriptives. And in Descriptives, I'm going to go down to the bottom of this column, and I'm just going to take those ones that I need. So party ID. I'm not going to use the first nominate score. I'm going to use the one that's negative that I want to use. And then run it, and I have it. And so I've got 433 observations on each of those. I go from 0 to 100 with a mean of 54. Standard deviation, that's a pretty wide standard deviation. We'll talk about what that means a little bit later. Party ID goes from 0 to 1. That seems about right. Mean of 0.48. This runs about right as well. So negative 0.97 to 0.7. Yeah, it's about right. The big range on DW nominate scores are negative 1.5 to 1.5, but the big ones usually only happen in the earlier congresses. And DW nominate 2 looks about right as well. Okay, so that's a good descriptive statistic. If you're using the, if you got this on your desktop, you can just print this off readily. If you're using the virtual lab, I'll show you. You can export this into another format, and so I'll, if you just click on this, we'll do File. Let's see. How do we do it? Actually, just right-click it, Export. And up here in the format, you can save this as a Word doc, you can save it as whatever you want, you can save it as a PDF if you like, and that's probably the best one to do. I'm going to go and find a place to put it, which is H drive. I'm going to put it in this one in project 3, and I'm going to say descriptives. Click OK. And that thing should run and put it into a PDF file for me. Really easy. And then you can print that off. You can take that back to your desktop through the H drive and print it off. It should be fine. If it stops. Let's see. Alright, so let's go to the H drive. And I'll have 513, project 3, and now I should have descriptive table. And you'll pull that up. Got an old version of Adobe here. To accept that, and then there it is, and so you can just print that off on the other one. Okay, so good. The other thing that you can do, you can save that as an Excel, Word doc, whatever you want, but that's just one way to get it between the virtual lab and the other, your regular environment, because you can't print out of the virtual lab. All right, the next thing that you can do is, let's do the correlations really quickly. So let's just go up to Analyze, and let's do correlate down here, and it'll have bivariate correlations. And so what we'll do is we'll go down to our variables. I want to include the dependent variable, the party ID variable, my negative nominate score on the first dimension, and the regular second dimension score. I want the Pearson correlation coefficients. I want two-tailed test of significance, and I'm just going to simply click OK. And that's fine. So notice what it does. This is the correlation between vote score and vote score is 1, so it creates a diagonal down through here. The variables of interest are down here, and notice they're the exact same: 0.87, 0.94, 0.95, 0.95, negative 0.10, etc. And so essentially what happens here is that you have a duplication. So you never complete, when you actually do the correlation table, you never get rid of this, you never kind of code this on both sides of the diagonal. You just do the 1.0s across there and then fill in underneath that diagonal. So these are the values that you're going to do. So do 2 digits, and these indications tell you that it's significant at the 0.01, so put in the 2 stars, 0.1. Actually, what's interesting is the DW nominate score ended up being a little bit negative versus the vote score, but it's a really weak correlation, so it's not really good. Notice the correlation between the vote score and party ID is strong. It's a little bit stronger for the nominate score, but they're both going in the positive direction because we reoriented that scale. So those will make sense. This one will be a little bit weird. It might be a little bit significant once we do the OLS, but it runs in a little bit different direction. Okay. Let's export that one quickly too. We're going to export. I'm going to say portable file. I'm going to put it in to the same spot that I did before. So I'll go up and find my H drive. I'm going to put it in that folder. I'm going to put it in project 3, and I'm going to do core table. And then I'll run it. And it should be okay. So you can bring that back through your H drive to your regular desktop, and then of course you can print that off, and so that's real easy. Okay, real good. That's all you need to do. This was a really simple step. We're just going to run a couple descriptives, and we're going to create some tables, and that is complete. So the next step we'll do is we're actually going to create a couple plots, and so we're going to create a plot for the dichotomous measure and plots for the 2 continuous measures.